Well, hello and welcome to Bitcoin Bankers. If you're new here, a new subscriber, welcome. Glad to have you along. My name's Shannon. This is Bitcoin Bankers. This is for the little guy who just has a few dollars, wants to invest in some crypto. You're new to crypto or new to trading and all that sort of thing. Yeah, join us and get involved. And we have a look at all sorts of different kind of crypto and stuff. All the information I provide here is free. I do not encourage buying Bitcoin with credit and credit cards and things like that. I've sort of stood by that for a little while. It's just about getting in, getting small. There's a lot of people out there and they're going to be telling you to do this, do that, and everyone's got some advice. So this channel is where you can get 2 cents of my advice. Now, one other thing, if you're a troll and you just want to come here and give me shit over what I do and my moves and things like that, well, yeah, you can go fuck yourself with a screwdriver. Not interested in having conversations, and I might even look at putting, for you subscribers and everything, we might go private with these videos so we can just work with each other. And we don't have to worry about all the dingbats who come along with their stupid comments and try and annoy us. But it's real no annoyance to me. I make my own calls. I don't need people like Trader Buzz. I don't need anyone else. We just make our own calls, and that's how you learn. You learn by just working with others, and I've got a number of other suggestions that I've made in some other videos. Now, I actually wanted to do a video before Christmas, but I've had all sorts of technical difficulties with 2 different computers over the last week or so, and my laptop died, blew up, got a new hard disk for that. Put that in and put a new OS in, and now with this one I started having troubles with some screen capture I was using, so I've had to try a couple of different bits of software. I did a video right before Christmas and was going over a number of things and potentials where the market was probably going to move. Unfortunately I didn't get that in because the sound just cut out halfway through the video, so here we are. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, I hope you had a good Christmas. It's now the 27th, so it's day after Boxing Day on 2017, December. And let's just switch over the markets, have a bit of a look what's going on. Now, in my corner of the world here at the moment, I'm just going to blow this up. In my corner of the world, I'm south of the equator, I'm in Australia. And usually when I get up in the morning, I've seen the benefits from the American bullish markets, and I can usually get up and say, oh yeah, we've had a pretty good run here on this, that, and the other. By the time it gets to about this time of day, it's about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. The Asian market really starts to kick in, and that means usually it means a fair bit of a sell-off. But what we're going to do, I'm going to go through a few popular coins and things, and there's a lot of talk about Litecoin at the moment. Charlie Lee came out with a few different tweets and posts and things, and all sorts of weird FUD and price action and stuff. He said it was going to drop right down, and then he comes out and says, oh, good things for the future, and I've sold out my Litecoin and all this sort of thing. So kind of got to be wary of what people are talking about when they say that. And this guy's the creator of Litecoin. So at the moment, this is an older graph that I've had here a little while ago. You can see it's the Elliott wave, the Elliott wave that I put on. And now it's kind of in a bit of a pullback. Everything went into a pullback with Bitcoin, moving sort of downward for that moment. So at the moment with Litecoin, if we did our, we can use your tools over here. If you use TradingView, and if you've been doing a little bit of trading for a little while, you can use your ABC retracement sort of tool here, and we would go 1 or A, B. Right, there's B there, and it's most likely we could go into a C down here. I'm thinking maybe around this point. And then, sometimes it can go to a D and an E. I don't think it's really going to go around this low if it's in this retracement, okay? But just be ready that it could, okay? It could be making these sorts of moves. If I wanted to, I would sort of put this up here and say, well, here we go. The 0 to A to B, C, which means we'd sort of really only come down to maybe here. And actually, we could put this up here. It tries to come back, and then it settles there. Yeah, so we could see a move in Litecoin downward. It is possible. That's the way it seems to be moving at the moment. So Litecoin outlook, I'd probably be careful. There's a lot of people pumping it up and saying it's going to go right, and it very well could just shoot straight up. It could just be in its sort of downward phase here at the moment. It could have done what it's already needed to do. Okay, so if I wanted to do a different one, I could sort of do it this way. By the way, I'm on the 1 day. So this is a longer movement over time. So there's another way you could look at it. Okay. Either way, look, we could be in for a bit of a downward move. I'll just move this across to here. Across to there. We could be in for that sort of downward motion with Litecoin here, guys. So just be wary. We've got a doji forming here. And what do dojis mean? They usually mean a reversal in direction, a change in direction. Okay. So just be wary of that. Litecoin could be going down, and then once it sort of continues to correct itself, it'll, maybe later in the year, maybe March, February, could shoot off again. This here is just a very rough speculation. If you really want to get it right like this, and even that sees us going out to about the end of this week, but it's going to move a lot longer than that. So, look. Litecoin is a little tough to sort of predict where that's moving at the moment. Okay, keep your eye on it. Watch the prices. Again, we've got these dojis here, so if they do start turning, you're likely to see a little bit more downward motion in the price. If we go to the hour on this on Litecoin, let's have a bit of a closer look. Okay, you can see she's already gone through a bit of that run down. She's tried to come up, and now she's sort of in a phase of it's really in a phase of correction and trying to see which way she's going to go. Now, very well, looking more at the bit of the history here, looks like it could take a bit of a run up for a little while, but again, a bit sketchy on Litecoin. There are, if you do your fundamentals, there are some things in the future for Litecoin, definitely. And I've always liked Litecoin. I don't actually hold any, but I've been watching it for some time. I've sort of bought in and sold out at certain times, and Litecoin's a good coin. So it's just a matter of seeing where things are going to go with that. And very soon, probably looking at a bit of a breakout there. Let's have a look. Yeah. If you want to put it here like this. So it's definitely moving into that point where we could have some kind of breakout. Now she could go north, it could go south. If we have a look, looking on the MACD there, has the previous highs, has it reached that? Has it reached those previous highs up here? Then it's been downward again. So, it's tough to tell at this point. Just looking at the whole sort of game here. It could possibly sort of be more likely to... My gut feeling says it might move down a bit more, guys. I think it's going to go down a bit more and then start to recover itself. But like I said, it could be wrong, so keep your eye on it. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing at the moment. I don't usually look at Bitcoin a lot because it's not something that I really sort of spend a lot of my time on. We'll just go to Coinbase. I'm not big on using Coinbase because there's been some funny things going on there lately. If we go to the 1 day, it's better to look at this on a 1 day. And so you can see here, everyone was talking about Bitcoin going into this, it's crashing, it's all over, rah, 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 it's the end of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash is the new Bitcoin, all these sorts of things. I don't believe that. Bitcoin Cash, may have certainly have elements of the original Bitcoin, and it forked from it. Of course it does. There's a lot of FUD out there, guys, and a lot of FOMO, and everyone just pumps their own ideas, and that's cool. But we need to be able to get a good grasp on this for ourselves. This is why we need to learn to do this for ourselves, okay? So how do we learn to do this for ourselves? Well, first thing you can do is learn your Elliott wave and learn how those go, and learn to match the Fibonacci tool, which I'll show you as I've showed in other videos. It's on this fork thing. You go down to your Fibonacci. Okay, and we'll take it from the bottom, shoot up to the top. Now, people do these different ways. I've seen T.O. do it. He actually does it upside down, does it backwards. He takes it from the top and goes down. It's just a matter of preference, the way people tend to do it. I'd rather go from here to the bottom to the top, because it shows a full cycle, and you want to retrace from here. Okay, so we saw Bitcoin basically move from this top point around the 19,700. And I mean, we could go up a little more if we wanted to. It's right to the very peak. Okay, and then she's come down and moved right down into this this big, quick sort of spike here in a week, and it went down sort of to the 50%. But it's basically starting to make its retracement. Okay, it's come back, and I think it's going to keep coming down. Might meet on the 50% here. The next run down could probably be the 618, most likely. It could go down to about here, so 8,000. Geez, I tell you what, you'd be wishing if it goes down 8,000, you'd probably want to be looking at buying some for sure. Now, the thing is, my whole point in this is that this is just one run up of Bitcoin, okay? It's resetting, the pressure's releasing. This is why you look at your histograms and your RSI, and it goes in cycles, okay? Everything goes in cycles. So you can see that it's had its big run up. Now it's cooling off, and it's going to start building momentum again. We're not quite sure whether this is going to move at the moment. The RSI is showing that it's just a little right on the midway, okay, around that 50% mark. So, and that's where the excuse, that's where the value is at the moment. What are we seeing here? What's this little thing here? Okay, is that a doji? Not quite. Not quite yet. Probably more what you'd probably call a spinning top. But either way, I mean, it's looking like it still might move and change its direction. It might have a little bit of a reversal. Now, in that reversal, it could either go down and start shooting down more, or it could go down a little and start sort of consolidating and then move up, or it could just go boom. So we just have to keep watching. It's just something that you've got to keep doing, keep your eye on things, keep watching, look at the candlestick movement, where things have gone, where's a lot of the pressure. You've got other elements such as the futures now. And if you've probably noticed, since the futures have come in, Bitcoin has actually allowed the markets to really continue being stable and stabilize themselves, and it's given the chance for the other coins to really breathe and get some oxygen, and they're starting to rise up a little bit more. And so the markets generally are pretty good. I think they're gearing up for a pretty big move, maybe early January, maybe mid-January, around there, and we might start seeing a bit more of a positive move up. Just depends what sort of Bitcoin's going to do here. Now, so that's your Fibonacci as well. That's how Fibonacci works with your, just bring this in, how Fibonacci works with your Elliott wave and the whole cycle of movement, okay? You could do your retracement tool, your ABC, so you just definitely go A, B, and then C coming down here, but I think, yeah, I mean, that's a long reach. I don't think it'll go down this far to the 8277, but we could be looking at it around this 11,000 mark. Okay, so around a 50% sort of pullback in total. Then she might start taking off again. So forget what everyone's always talking about with this price in Bitcoin, that price in Bitcoin. They're outlooks. Anything can happen in the meantime. So always just keep doing your analysis. Just keep reassessing, because things really move around a lot. Okay, I'm going to have a look at Ripple now. I like Ripple. I got Ripple as a long-term hold. Bitfinex. And so we're seeing here too, it's had a bit of a jump out today. It's kind of really jumped off and done its own thing. It's really good to see Ripple finally start behaving like a real coin, if you want to call it that. So we've seen it sort of shoot up, and then it's sort of had its retracement pulled back, and it's found a new support level around the 66, jumped up again. Then there was a real crazy action. Then she's sort of settled back down, and it's going into its next move now. So she's really starting to move off. It's found some support around the 95 cent, and I've predicted in previous ones as well. I think we're heading for about $1.38, $1.39 to about $1.40, something like that. So if we were to do our Elliott wave on this full cycle, what we have now, I'll get rid of this. Okay. It's going to impulse. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, so there's our 3 up there. It's coming down to the 4, and then we got 5. It's going to take off. Okay, so it looks like it's really started that move now. We could go a little higher than 140, 150, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so it's currently on that kind of trajectory now. I think $1.50, $1.30 to $1.50. So we'll have to wait and see where we are and where that's moving. But it's looking pretty strong on the day. That outlook by the end of the week, maybe. The way things are moving at the moment, it's sitting around $1.13. I think it's going to sort of tip down a little bit, just short term, and then sort of keep riding up. So on the day, Ripple's looking pretty good. If we go to the hour, it'll probably be a bit of a different story. Okay. But she's still moving along that that cycle there. She's pretty much spot on. Okay, moving nicely in that range. This has moved out a little bit. When you're changing timetables, the wave moves out a little bit. So don't worry too much. It's just mainly there to give you an indication of how things are growing and the direction that it's moving. Okay, now this move here has just happened today. It's a nice little peak, a nice little jump out, and so Ripple's looking pretty good. Ripple's looking pretty good. We just want to see it maintain that kind of strength that it's had in these sort of boomy, boosty sort of times, and not go into too much consolidation too regularly. Okay, what else can we look at? Let's look at IOTA. Whoop. IOTA. $2 on Bitfinex. All right. So IOTA had a bit of a boost today. She's up nearly around $4. It's looking good. I can get rid of those. I put those in as indications earlier. I have to get rid of those now because they didn't occur at the time I expected them to. And as you can see, the market reversed and went in the other direction. That was with the whole big Bitcoin sort of drop down last week. But they recover, and they're sort of just starting to work themselves out. And as you can see today, this is on the hour, they're starting to move nicely. We use our MACD. Okay, and it's giving you a bit of an indication. IOTA's looking good. I got into this, I think it was $3.20 just the other week somewhere. I think that was it. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, again, we have some growth. It's moving up. It's working its way up. I'll have a little bit of move, a little pullback, and then keep going forward. So at the moment, it's breaking through a few boundaries. We had our sort of resistance here. Let's move that down a bit. Okay. An earlier resistance was here. So she's moved up, broken through, and became support. Broke down under and continued, became support, and off she goes. Okay, so now currently on Bitfinex, looking at $4. So that's pretty good. Looks like she's on a move again. It's moved out of that consolidation, and she's still going. Again, if you have a look down on the MACD here, she's shot back up. It's sort of worked its way to recovery, moving a little bit higher, now she's starting to take off again and move. So we want to see it sort of move back and start challenging this region that we had here earlier. And that was up so that was up around the $5 mark, $5.50 mark. Okay, so that's where we want to aim to. We got a few levels to break through on that one. Don't need that. Next, it's actually at that sort of next level of resistance at the moment. We're going to see if it can break through that. Okay, about there. Okay, it's kind of jumped through this one here. That'll probably be a better point to put it at, hey? Around that level. So we want to see it sort of keep working along. It might just sort of poke along and then move up. Once she gets past this and can really sustain itself, this is the next level of support. Resistance is up here. So if we can see that happen, we can see a nice big sort of boom out. Okay. What else can we have a look at here? Let's have a look at QTUM. Is that how you spell it? QTUM. Okay. Oh, that's to Bitcoin. I didn't want it to Bitcoin. I don't like measuring things against Bitcoin because essentially Bitcoin is so unstable. You know, it's just moving around all the time. It's not a really good thing to weigh your value against. I know other people do it, but you need to measure your earnings against something that's quite stable, and that's why we still use our fiat currency, because it is stable. It's much more tradable than Bitcoin and all these other things. So that's sort of where we're at now. It's sitting at the 48 cent. There's been quite a lot of volume moving through lately, especially in selling. It's starting to regain itself. But she's sort of sitting nicely at the moment. I'll make this a little bigger so we can see. So you can see there's a lot of struggle going on between the buyers and sellers. But essentially, it's still upward moving. Okay, even here, upward moving. You know, it's working its way to regain those the losses that they had before. You know what I mean? And that's what we want to see, constantly gaining strength. Okay, so it's working its way. It's building itself up. Where are we going to get to? That's kind of hard to tell at the moment. We want to see it really get charged. And, I mean, this is where it was previously, up around the $72 mark. Where do we have support? Okay, let's have a look at our resistance and support. Okay. Sort of right across here. You can move that up a little bit if you feel more comfortable sort of having it up around this mark. Remember, if you're finding a difficult spot and it's kind of all around, just look at the kind of the average area. All right. Support, well, pretty average to get a bit of support around here on that last run. Okay. And we want to see it sort of come up, move, and it should break through that level there. And that's at the $50 mark. Yeah, and we're not far off that at the moment. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. Don't get too upset if it goes up or down, you know, if it moves here or there. Remember, this is long term. We're doing long term sort of looking at the markets and trading. I'm not doing really any swinging or anything like that or day trading at the moment. I'm kind of letting things sit where they are. All right. So that's where we are with QTUM. I think we want to see it move out and then sort of break out in this range, okay? And I think it's most likely headed for that way pretty soon. Probably, there's 27. Yeah, it might sort of start moving out of this in the next 6 to 8 hours. Have a look at that, see how you go, okay? But as far as the next few days, I mean, let's have a look on the day for this. All right. So you can see it's had this massive volume pump into it. It's starting to have a bit of a convergence here. That's the lines we just drew. But essentially, again, we can just do our way there. There's 1, 2, 3. Just moving up to the 3 there. I mean, that's where we could be headed. You know what I mean? So looking at the 122... that's kind of the range that we're looking at. So long term, we could be looking around the 120, 118 to 120 mark, but that might take a little while. See, we're looking at the date here, around mid-January. It may even take a lot longer than that, but that's just a bit of a guide for you to see where things are going. Okay, I should probably move that up just a little bit. Third. It goes a bit bigger. Okay, we've had a big pullback here, so it should be shorter on the second. Okay, I'm just going to think about what else we have. Oh, Ethereum. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Where is Ethereum going? Well, you can see I look very messy there. This is my own. This is all for my own stuff. This is what I just do. Okay, I've put in measures where you can see that it's sort of gone into consolidation and then start to either break out or go down. So we're currently at a point now. This is on the day again. Okay, so we've had a big boom, and then it's taken off again into another set, and it's started to pull back. Okay, are we on a new level now? Well, we have to wait and see if this doji actually gains energy and takes off, or is it going to start pulling back? If it starts pulling back, it's going to move into a bit of consolidation here, and then we might see a bit of a move off, because what I see, I'm just telling you what I see, is that it's gone through 2 cycles on the day of just sort of moving upward. And let's stretch this out a little bit. Okay, these might be a little old actually. Let's start all this again, eh? Let's get rid of this. Let's start all this again, just to be getting rid of that. Let's get rid of all this and we'll do a fresh one. Okay. I mean, I could keep those there, but I'll get rid of them. All right, so essentially what we're seeing, let's bring it back. We were to start from around this point here. We could say, well, we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 there. Okay, 4 and 5 if I can get it up there. There we are. So there's our move, yeah? Actually, I mean, I could take it up to here. Probably looks a bit better, doesn't it? And then we've had our pullback. A, we can go into that if you want to do that. So it's at the 0. We go A, B. Now, if it goes back and it starts to move into a consolidating phase, that's what we could be looking at for a little while, okay? And that's what I think is actually more likely to happen. It needs to get past, but I'll get rid of this. It basically needs, let's look at, if you're not sure what's going on here, I'll show you. What I do is I find my levels of support. There's 1. Yeah, even before you put your waves on, there's 2. Here's some resistance along here. It's 3. Yeah. So these are the ranges that you're sort of working in. If it shoots off, we want to see a breakthrough here, and then we've got a much better chance of it sort of getting some new air and really sort of getting a bit of energy and taking off. If it can't sort of make that, if it's sort of stopping here, then it's more likely going to retrace back and sort of stay in this range and bounce off. Yeah. Unlikely that it's going to go right down sort of to this level. I don't see that at all. But strange things happen in crypto. So I think, look, we're going to be working in this range for a little bit longer. I think it's actually going to sort of start to ease off here and go into a consolidation phase, because Ethereum seems to do that quite a lot and just sit around this 750. I'd like to see it go higher, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look on the hour. Okay, just keep stretching him out. Stretching him out. Okay, it gives a bit of a better look now. Okay, so as you can see, it is moving, like we said, in that range. Okay, that we've drawn up. It's currently sitting around the 752. It was about 780 this morning. Somewhere there, about 780 this morning. Yep. So, and actually, as you can see from what I did last time, I kind of put this in and said, okay, if she goes up, we're sort of heading upwards in this direction. We'll look at the 935. If it goes down, if it doesn't really come out of that consolidation well, it'll go down and hit around the 649. And look what happened. Where's our support line there? It's around that 649. So that was pretty good estimation there. It's a shame I didn't get that one out. I think that was in the video that I was trying to get out, but it didn't quite work. So that's what we're sort of looking at now. Got a funny feeling she's still going to drop down a bit and then keep working its way through. So that's Ethereum for you. Now, one other one. I'm sorry I can't look at all of these at the moment. Actually, let's just quickly do OMG. Let's do OMG properly. OMG. So OMG, I think, is looking pretty strong long term. This is where we are at the moment. This is where I think we're headed. Ultimately, at the moment, we're headed for around that we're on the 3-wave up. Yeah, so probably looking at the $33 mark. When would that be by? Mid-January. That's just a rough approximation. I'm just having a bit of a look here. Seems to be following it quite well. We just got to wait and see. I think we might have a bit of a boom here because it's got to sort of bring itself back in line. Here's my outlook. And then after that, might be moving on to the $45 mark, thereabouts. Okay, so that's OMG. It's a quick look at OMG. I'll do Neo quickly if you're into Neo. These are all, I'm mainly using Bitfinex as the exchange to base it on too, guys, because they're a little bit more conservative. All right, that's the hour. Stretch me out a bit. Excuse me. Everyone seems to be getting a bit of this nasty cough. So it's around 31. She's been moving quite strongly. Again, here's a really good one. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to put in some support. Okay. Support along there at the 44. We know it's sat along the 44. We know it's sat along the $30 mark there for some time as well. All right. Where else do you see support? I see resistance along here and became a bit of support. Let's bring that down a bit. Okay. Again, guys, these are all very rough sort of speculations for me and for you guys. I'm not an expert trader at all. I'm just an amateur. Picked up a few things as I go along. I mean, actually, we could put that one down here. That looks pretty good around this area. So you've got some areas of support. Okay, it's now sitting above those lines. I think it's going to move along that line quite well. So it's currently at the $64 mark. What do we want it to do next? We want it to move up. We want it to break through maybe around this level here. Okay, that's what we want to see it do. I don't actually hold Neo at the moment. I've always wanted to, and I'm sort of moving I have limited funds, so I can only move it around in certain things at a time, yeah? But I do like Neo. I think it's good. And this is where we want to see a shoot off to. This is a range that's sort of working in at the moment, you know, and I think, you know, next stop, if it goes well, the next stop is around the $74 mark. So that's a $10 gain. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then, you know, if you can get up above these, well, you know, you're off to market. Okay. So that's a bit of a look there. The other one I wanted to mention was Bitcoin Gold. Like I said, I'm not much of a Bitcoin fella. Do like it. I'd like to have more of it, but I don't have any of it. So anyway, this is Bitcoin Gold, and it's currently sitting around the 270 mark, and look, recently it shot up to 418. I think it's really kind of wanting to move along there. I think it eventually might be a good coin pretty soon to look at, because a lot of people are going to see it as an alternative. Okay. There's not a lot of average people that are coming into the market that can afford Bitcoin, so they're going to be looking for alternatives, okay? And I'll just draw this. Bitcoin Gold has some pretty good support on here, okay? Where's our resistance? Probably, you've got a pretty good, strong resistance line along here, okay, which is the 400. But at the moment, we're sitting here, okay? We're sitting around that 270, and there's a lot of strength around the 270 there that it seems to play in this range quite a lot. That's 200, 270, around the $300, 305 mark. It plays in there a lot, okay? So if we can start moving up beyond this range and it starts working and playing, it'll play in this next level, and then it could start moving up. You could see, maybe in the next few months, you could see $700 Bitcoin Gold. So that's something that's worth looking at. Just depends how much attention it can get. I'm looking at maybe getting a little bit. I'm just kind of deciding between Ethereum and maybe the Bitcoin Gold. I'll probably be looking about $400. Just put $400 in it and see where it goes. But if I do it, it's going to want to be around this area. So at the moment, I'm waiting for it to sort of break out. What's it doing? Where's it going? Kind of thing. Oh, buzz off. I hate those things. I'm working on a whole lot of free stuff, guys. I do everything free where I can, because it's like, if you pay for something, you can get some better value, but there you go. Anyway, so that's where we're sitting at. This is about to sort of move out. Let's straighten that up. And this is what we're looking at the moment. Could it break out there? I think that's quite possible. Let's have a look at... I'll bring in my tools here. So you're seeing it's really, in volume, it's really starting to gain that energy back, sitting in a consolidation mode. Just, what's happening there? What's happening? Let's have a look. Definitely consolidating. We've got dojis there. I think she might have a breakout pretty soon. I can't really see this moving down a lot. I see it moving up. Okay, so Bitcoin Gold, let's see where it goes. And I'm going to leave it there for now, guys. Switch back, and so that's sort of my look for 27th December, just after Christmas Boxing Day. Let's see what happens. I think the New Year's time might be very interesting. I think the reasons we saw those sell-offs in Bitcoin recently was because everyone's just taking profit for Christmas. I'm sure there's probably a lot of wealthy people around who probably wanted to buy a new Lambo for Christmas. Cheers to you if you did. I was able to take a little bit out and just pay off some bills and things, So at the moment, I'm holding long. I'll try and do another video very shortly and look at maybe 2 strategies that most people would probably be wanting to do with crypto. So that's it for now. I'm glad this video seems to have worked. Welcome to Bitcoin Bankers. Thanks for subscribing if you're new. And keep trading safely, guys. All the best. Oh, one other thing. There's a video on Silver Goldman channel where he actually talked to a guy from who's about to start doing Silver Goldman's trading, but he's also done the Trader Boss JSNIP4 trading, and he'll give you a bit of a view on each of those. And is it balanced view? I don't know. I don't know either of these guys. I've talked to Silver Goldman probably once or twice in my life via sending an email, and I also did some trading when he was doing a live trade one day, and we'd have a bit of a chat with everyone else. That was pretty cool. Have I ever talked to JSNIP4? Only once, when he called me a shill, and so I just wrote a message back explaining what I felt. I wasn't rude in any real way, just explaining myself, and I think he accepted that and just moved on. but he doesn't like Silver Goldman. Silver Goldman don't like him. So it's interesting to watch those two. I'm turning over a new leaf. I just want to focus on bringing free information. That's, I'm not Trading Boss. I'm not Silver Goldman. I'm not, Howard Hughes. I'm not any other kind of guy. I'm actually just, I do computer science in a master's degree at the moment. Just started doing that. I have a degree in sound engineering, so I like music and all that stuff. That's where I'm at, guys. I'm just trying to make some bucks off this, help out my family a little bit, help myself out, with an ultimate goal, long term, of having a much better stage of wealth in my life. I'm only working with a tiny little bit now, but look, we've got to start somewhere, eh? And I don't follow other people's trades. I do my own. I do my own analysis because I'm the type of person I need to know for myself up here. I just like to know how things work and why they work. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Happy New Year coming up.